and it's our practice at Common Art that we take these breaks every hour to just have some quiet in the space. And at this one in particular is when we have longer announcements. So take a deep breath. You don't have to pay attention. You do need to be quiet so we can get through it.
My name is Tom King, and I'm here at the Common Cathedral Common Art Program here at the Emmanuel Church at 15 Newberry Street in Boston.
My name is Tim Green. I'm a retired Wall Street executive, and I live for Wednesdays. Wednesday is the day that Common Art is held, and I'm spending my retirement trying to give back, and this program is the most meaningful experience I have.
Normally, once a month, Common Art takes a couple of us artists to a different congregation in the surrounding Boston area, and we're able to sell it to other congregations. So it's like a monthly sale. And I sell it there, and sometimes I sell it right on the street. Also, during the Common Art on Wednesdays, we have an art sale right out in front of this church. So yeah, right. I guess that's really what it's all about, is to make it for someone, and hopefully they line up and buy it.
I have been involved in the art process literally since I was 15 years old. And I was lucky enough back now over 60 years ago to go to Massachusetts College of Art, which is one of the finest art schools in the country. It made the idea of art as a way of life legitimate. So from that, I became an art instructor along with a practicing artist.
My art is a celebration, especially of my childhood, because I grew up with so many different cultures around me. My father comes from up the hills, my mother is down the coast, and I was just growing up inside that culture. So now, having grown up and realized that I can paint, I celebrate my work.
What I found with many of these artists, and the program was initiated to help some members of the community to bring out their spiritual inside. And it is just amazing. Some of the people in the program here who are the most challenged, either through illness or addiction, or trauma, other backgrounds, have the most wonderful paintings in their soul. And it's just remarkable to look at what they put on a canvas.
Each mural represents a part of Boston. So my assignment was to represent Forest Hills and Jamaica Plain. So I'm mainly doing that with portraits, and I have Forest Hill train station there above the pregnant woman, like it's like a clock. So it could be a little subliminal, like I don't know if people will notice that, like pregnant, clock ticking, there's like some hidden meanings. And we're using a lot of words, and the community, they all get involved. I got I got a writer to write up some things that would inspire people to, to help this organization raise money to educate children from the start. That's their main goal.
There was an artist here who does these most amazing paper cuts, and they're very big. They're not stencil or anything like that. And when I first met him, he was doing sorts of arts and craftsy things that he would sell at trade shows around the street for $10 or $20, a lobster or something like that. And he has grown, and his artistry has grown to the point that he did a rendition of Fenway that is hanging in John Henry's office. John Henry is the owner of the Red Sox and the Boston Globe. And that's the caliber. He got a commission from Harvard to do 7 buildings there. And his goal is to become totally self-sufficient on basis of his artistry. And he's on his way. He's developing a following, and he's just the most amazing guy. He's confined to a wheelchair, and we had a show one night on a Friday in Lexington, and it was absolutely teeming rain. And he got on the T, took the bus to a took the T to a transfer station, got on a bus, rode the bus to Lexington Center, got off and rode a mile in his wheelchair in the pouring rain to come to this event. And the first thing I did when I saw him was I started running for towels to wipe them off. And he looked at me and says, "It's no big deal." And I think about that all the time. I say to myself, it's no big deal.
When you're unhoused, it's very traumatic. And I take that quote from one of my unhoused friends, Chris Halbert, who said, homelessness is traumatic. And it's just like you are in constant survival mode. You're thinking about your next meal. You're thinking about where you sleep that night, where you'll take your nap because you couldn't sleep the night before because it was raining. And all these things that I think myself as a housed individual, I don't think about because I take it all for granted. And like when you're unhoused, you just are not, you're having your worst day almost every day.
And there are a lot of people here who are just struggling to get through the day. And, you can't get a job if you don't have a Social Security number. You can't get a Social Security number if you don't have an address. And so many of these people just go through a loop of obstacles, trying to make their way and trying to just cope.
So relationships are hard. I think that's one of the things I realized about homelessness. If you or I ran out of money in the bank, we wouldn't necessarily be homeless because maybe a friend or a family member would take us in. But I think that our safety nets are we burn through them pretty fast when we battle a host of mental conditions, instability, and relationships become very difficult. Despite all that, we have a community that I feel for the most part is safe, and everybody knows that they will be accepted here. They will not be judged, no matter what degree they have, what their history is, if they've been incarcerated or whatever. They're welcome here to make art, and that they will be treated as if they are that wealthy business person walking up the street from Newbury Street, or if they have been unhoused for 10 years, they'll be treated exactly the same. So I think that is kind of counter to how our society treats the unhoused